Let's go.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's a fabulous Wednesday night and we are super excited to talk about some All-Stars casting here on X's for Show. I'm Nico, guys. Check me out at Nico Action, NICOACTION.
Hey everybody, it's Jonah. You can follow me please at Jonah.
Hey, I'm TK. You can find me at TK Accidental.
I'm Tori. You can find me online at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I.
And that makes me meet your producer, KEVO. You can find out, KEVO, really make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we know what you want us to cover in the future. Just when we thought we were out, they pulled us back in. We knew that this announcement was coming, but here we are. We have all 18 queens for this Tournament of Champions that we are excited to discuss.
You know, when I think about how this cycle works, you know, we joked that like we had to have a hot minute between seasons, and then obviously we didn't, right? But moreover, one of the things that I think was more kind of like a question about this All-Stars was, were they going to really do something interesting with it? And they did right away. And I'm grateful because season 17 didn't feel like a big format. Like a dunk tank does not interesting make. So starting with 16 split 3 ways, I'm already hot for this.
Yeah, that was really my initial take when they said tournament style, even though we didn't quite know what that meant, but they indicated that the roster would be larger. They told us tournament style. And yeah, even that for me was enough. My only thing is I maybe wish that they were calling it All-Stars Tournament rather than All-Stars 10 the tournament or something, just because I don't know, we'll get into it a little bit more, but for a couple of people on here, it's like, oh, you're back again, and I'd love to say we were putting those people on a different show, just for the sake of that. But I think this is going to be really fun. I also think it's really funny to have to force people to pick brackets when they might like 2 queens from one, 2 queens from another, and only 1 queen from the third one, but that's their favorite queen in the third one, but they don't want to root for that bracket.
Speaking of rooting for people,
yeah,
Jonah, you had the most unbelievable thing. I zinged and Jonah zang-danged. I said all of these people, because I was in an awesome conversation earlier with some friends on Blue Sky, and it was pointed out that, Lydia is competing, having not had her season run yet. And I was like, oh, so these none of these people knew her, but you zanged right away.
No, there is someone on this cast who does know Miss Lydia Butthole Collins, and that would be Mistress Isabel Brooks, who was roasted by her. You could say she's a big fan.
And you could say she's half the fan she used to be. Jeez, Mistress looking absolutely like the body she wants to have. Very happy for her.
Yeah, I definitely, I think that this is one of those where there's a little something for everyone. There's queens we thought we might never see again. There's queens we thought we'd seen a whole bunch of. There's queens that we've been asking for. There's queens that, were the first out and we have no idea what they can bring. Like, it's all just very exciting. And I think there's a little something for everyone. Whether or not that leads to a cohesive whole remains to be seen. But I imagine Jonah's very excited for one particular queen.
Who would ever that possibly be? The queen that I loved since her first appearance on the show and now start talking about, and how I would root for her and no matter what. I don't know who you could be referring to. The person
Nicole Paige Brooks, obviously.
Well, no, the answer is Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia.
Obviously.
But I mean, obviously, you're talking about chocolate. Talking full Bosco.
The golden chocolate bar. Yeah,
yeah.
Seeing Bosco on this season, I'm a very happy fan. So I already have my winner locked in. It's gonna be Bosco. I don't want to hear anything else about it.
I got to scroll a little bit through Reddit. And I had a busy work day, and then I'm trying to get spring going, feeling the vibe, right? Mm-hmm. And so I only had a couple of minutes to look. And one of the things that I saw that was really beautiful was some people had put together just this unbelievable reflection on how many of these beautiful trans women have gotten to celebrate their trans journeys through this show, and how so many of these beautiful women came in feeling unlike themselves, and now get to come back and show the world who they always meant to show, who they always should have been able to show. And so I just want to, big love to our trans sisters for representing, doing the thing, and then coming back. Because like, I'm really glad that Ginger Minge is here for the 633rd time, but like, at this point, it's just she's just repping the Ginger brand. Like, what is she gonna do? Break through for incredibly talented performers everywhere? Like,
Ginger has to compete every 4 years.
What? They're gonna lose the rights on her name?
Yeah.
No, a curse befalls the earth. She's really just saving us from
the drag Olympics for her.
Yeah.
She's competing every 4 years.
Oh my God!
Let her compete.
I mean, Nico, that was exactly my reaction as well. It's sort of, unfortunately for me, it feels like the opposite of the other people of her ilk. People like Alyssa Edwards, who, you know, once they got to a certain point, I mean, I didn't think Alyssa needed to do the first All Stars that she did, because she just already was active and a star. Ginger, for me, is one of those queens where if I see her name on a marquee, I'm excited for whatever that is. I know she's going to deliver a show, whether it's just one number, whether it's her show, whatever it is. She's so talented. She's so funny. And this brings us to like another huge part of the Drag Race machine and what this show kind of means for it. But also, you know, brings up questions for me about what all of this means for what the show is. You know, a lot of people, I say this with love, but they're on here because this is how you get your name out there and keep your name out there, keep your booking fee high, keep people knowing who you are. And I don't think anybody doesn't want the crown, or isn't going to give it their all. But when it comes to somebody like Ginger, where you're like, well, why would you do this again? Like, isn't this a bit much?
Hasn't she already had hers?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the answer is because I had the opportunity to be on TV again. I'm a professional. I want to up my booking fee. I want to be able to have this credit. You know, I want to be a TV personality. And I think that makes a ton of sense. I'm not going to begrudge anybody the opportunity to do it. But it does sort of like, the difference between that and like, well, you know, I'm Irene, the alien. I only got to be on one episode. I actually do want to come back and compete on this show. Those two people are in just completely different places. And I just I have some questions about what it means for the RuPaul's Drag Race brand overall.
But I think that's what's exciting about it is that
100%.
We can get kind of anyone. I think this format and who was chosen very much solidifies that RuPaul decides who gets to be an all-star, or like there isn't like a rubric of, okay, you either were this high or you've become this famous in the meantime.
How have they not done rubric as part of the brand yet?
We pitched it like months ago. That was my whole thing, that we built the rubric, and they should call me.
So something I want to note is Big Brother and Survivor, both two reality TV competition juggernauts of their genre, constantly have people coming back to compete, whether it be a special season like the Reindeer Games, special seasons of Survivor. People come back all the time. And I'm not saying people aren't allowed to be like, well, you can, this is like your fourth time competing, you know, maybe give that opportunity to someone else. But also I like seeing people come back. I let them have fun. Let them do what they want.
I think up until Ginger's third one, I thought of it as you should come back for All Stars because you showed so much potential. And didn't, for whatever reason, whatever, slip of the disc, or you actually just got, you didn't have a great season. You left early on your season. So you get to come back and show again, like, what made you a winner. And at a certain point, like Survivor and Big Brother and all the other places all the other shows that do that, even kind of, Project Runway, it's a lot of it is not, you were the best of the best and we need you back. It was, we do like repeat show. We do bring you back show. And for the Drag Race fandom, I think for a while, especially with the first 3 All-Stars, there was this real feeling of, no, we bring back the queens that maybe even could have won. and didn't get a chance to, or the queens that had so much potential and just had a bad night, but it was their second night, so we never got to see them. And then at a certain point, the format started to be, not the format, but like just because of how it worked, and they wanted to do one of these basically every other year, or every year, if not every other year, it became like any of the girls can come back. Girls who have already done it can come back. All the girls could have won. All of the girls have so much potential. So it's totally cool if any and all of them come back. And I think I now think that's totally reasonable. I'm super down. I just think they cultivated a really specific brand for a hot minute and then never did anything to say, hey, we're kind of changing up our thinking on All Stars.
And I feel like that's a little bit the way I feel about when people tell me that they're on their third child. When you're on your first child, congratulations, that's beautiful. But by the third one, we all understand that you get fucked and that you are a drain on our resources. And so at some point, I just kind of want to tell Ginger Minge that we've hit the point of no return and that she is essentially the equivalent of a drag race welfare queen. And I need her to stop. Because I'm standing in line with my WIC card too. So this has gone too far. So
But they say yes. Production says yes. At the end of the day, production says yes.
And at the end of the day, she sells tickets.
Mm-hmm.
She gets people excited. She gets people to watch the show. My joke was more a cutting attempt to point out that no matter what, at the end of the day, there is production favoritism.
Yeah.
Like, this is intentionally a joke, but do you think if somebody with less pharma money than Cory Booker had done that filibuster, there would have been anywhere near as much media attention? No. People get the asses in the seat for Ginger Minge, but I'm telling you, if Phoenix had done the filibuster before a week ago, no one would have given a shit.
Well, and I imagine that Ginger is a really comfortingly known quantity to production. And she knows everybody there. She knows how it works. When you have 18 queens like this, having people with real experience on how the whole thing is going to go, who can, marshal people, and who also can show up and bring, they're going to bring the best of the best and make sure that the bar is kept at a certain place. When you have people like Phoenix and Nicole who have not been here in 15 years, but are closer to Ginger's first season than a lot of these other girls are, she can kind of be the bridge. I mean, there's a lot of ways in which it makes sense to me. And I think she's going to be great. And we'll have a lot of fun. There's no part of me that's like, get her out of here. At the same time, might I have been happy to see, Lux Tomorrow London have that seat instead of Ginger? In some ways, maybe just because I only got one season with Lux and I really think she almost took it. And Ginger, I've seen a bunch, and like I said, I will already buy tickets to her show. But Lux is somebody who I would still buy tickets to the show, but I want to see more from her. I want to see her get to be on the show again. Not that she was asked or anything. I have no idea there, of course, but just an example of somebody who I think could have won her season, could win an All Stars.
I heard you breathe in like you're Kirby about to absorb a power. I'm ready to see what girl you're about to take on.
God, Kirby would win Drag Race. I think. So the other thing that has to come down to it is RuPaul is also picking people that she likes.
Yeah.
RuPaul, and we kind of brought up this production before, but there are plenty of queens who work well with production. They'll do what they're asked without questions, but they know they make good TV. They know they're entertainment, and production likes working with them. I think back to a story way back when Kim Chi was talking about how it was her birthday on Drag Race, and they got her a cake at midnight and all these different things, and they wish her happy birthday or whatever, and it was a different queen's birthday, and I guess she wasn't as nice to production, and she got a bag of chips. So I'm just saying, production will probably go out of their way if you are better to them than some other people, and they're probably willing to give you more opportunities and call you back if they like you more.
I'm in charge of the anniversary parties at work, and if I like you, you get an anniversary party, and if I don't like you, get a Teams post.
Exactly.
Oh, like the anniversary of your time there. How many married couples do you have working? What is going on?
Work anniversaries are a big deal.
They are quite. They God fuck. They are my.
As someone who used to do them all the time,
Wow.
I know what it's like.
I just get blackout drunk by myself.
No, it's true. Today is Admin Professionals Day. Hey, girls. But when you are one of these kinds of behind-the-scenes people, even in an office space, there are people who you will go out of your way to make their day better. And if this is a symbol that these are queens who either are such good TV, it doesn't matter, or are such sweethearts with production and able to conjure the best of the best that you want to have them back, then that's what we have. And I think that speaks highly of most of the people that we see come onto the All-Star stage. Because I cannot imagine that 10 years in, they were like, you know what we should do? Reward certain kinds of people instead. So,
you know, I want to take that and I want to kind of develop the point that one of the things is our show is produced by KEVO. And as KEVO is a little bit more drawn to, I would say, theatery queens than maybe Ru is, KEVO leans toward what our house likes. And, you know, one of the things that KEVO has in common with Trinity the Tuck is that they're both full cunt and they are both the father of a beautiful boy who has had an amazing week. It was this guy's birthday earlier this week, but I also want to say that Sam Starr dropped a new single this week. It is 30% more Mutt Lang in 1998 than I am looking for, but it is 100% catchier than I ever would have imagined. Seeing Trinity and his mother in the video literally kind of it made me,
Star.
Yeah, as a mama's boy, it made me cry. And it made me very, very proud. And part of why it's kind of on my mind is because, you know, KEVO, we dropped everything today. Like I'm in meetings and I'm like halfway out of meetings and I'm like trying to put together our plans for PAX East and I'm like trying to like answer text messages from coworkers and we're trying to watch this. And it was just like one of those maddening days. And KEVO, you put together this episode and it's so good. And one of the things that I'm really excited about is the familial quality about this season. I think that we are entering an age of all-stars where like Jonah, you and TK are kind of like our drag race mamas and daddies and like ingratiated us into this so graciously. I tried to come up with like ingraciously and it would have sounded bad. Ingratiated us so graciously into drag race. And like, this is my and KEVO's third All-Stars. This is Tori, your second. This is TK and yours sixth or ninth or 10th now, because I started at 7. So in my head, like, I'm like, oh, there's only 7. But like, we're hitting a point where you guys have all-star expectations from it occurring. And like, part of that for me that's so funny is like, when I think about the fact that I came into this so fucking late and like, I have now live watched more seasons of Drag Race International than there are seasons of US. I have now live watched more seasons total than there are seasons of US in 3 years. How do you guys feel? Like, you know, specifically TK and Jonah, how do you guys feel going into this season of All-Stars? It's 10, baby. You did this. You guys carried this across the finish line.
Well,
your ilk.
My ilk, you know, it helps when a third of the cast is from the exact same season of season 14.
1/3, 1 full third.
Sounds like season 14 can't get booked, bitches. Book them.
No, I think the opposite. I think season 14 was highly in demand by the show, and they were like, "This way we're going to get all the amount of people." So expectations. When it comes to actual All-Stars, I expect the people that they invite back to actually have a shot at winning. And I look at this cast, and there are people who have a mix. We have finalists, we have people who've made it late into the competition, mid outs, and early outs. And I expect everybody to be given an actual fair shot at winning, because then what was the point of even doing any of this? Why invite them back outside of, hey, look, we'll prop them up? And there are some queens, even from early seasons, that just aren't the best at Drag Race, and that's okay, because they are still amazing, spectacular, fabulous drag entertainers. Being good at Drag Race has no actual bearing on your drag ability. But for a TV show that is a competition, I want good TV. I want people who are going to nail challenges, who are going to fail challenges. I want people who make me excited to see them next week to survive, or root for them to go home in a sports loving way. I really hope with this season, and I hope what it's able to do and accomplish is kind of just bring back the fun of the show. I think some people take the show a little too seriously and take it a little too far.
Yeah, like people who do like 2 to 3 episodes a week of TV on it on YouTube, that's way too much.
No, well, we're, for the most part, nice. There are people who tag these girls and go to their DMs and say mean, rotted, gutted things. Baby, it's a TV show. Like, let's all have fun. We're all just people in wigs and makeup. Like, let's just have some fun. Let's have some enjoyment. Let's make good TV. That's what I want. I want good TV.
PK, what do you want? Do you think there are just too many bitches in wigs, or what?
I was talking about that a little bit earlier, where like I'm just really late to the game, resetting my expectations. Like I said, for a while I was really like, this is where you come to redeem yourself, like, to get your redemption arc. And I think, and I shouldn't say I'm just doing it, because it now has been a while, but like, I think the kind of random crowning of Monet and Trinity was a good start in realizing that All Stars had turned into a different beast. I think the All Winners season, where nobody went home, I think the charity season, all helped to rework the brand a little bit and to rework the product in a way where, yeah, I do see it now a little bit more as like, let's just kind of have fun and see what happens. And I think going bigger and getting more girls on screen, even though we know some of these people, if somebody goes home every week, essentially, like if there is a significant elimination, or maybe even more than one, because it's so many girls, more or less every week, some of these people are not going to get a ton of airtime. But like, people don't super know who Phoenix is anymore. People don't probably really, a lot of people probably don't know Acid Betty. Aja, she's there.
I think Aja isn't just, I think you're really right, because like Nicole Paige Brooks, that sounds like somebody that works in my library. But like Aja, other than the fact that I don't recognize most of the filler in her face, Aja is, the bitch that jumped off of like a 34-story building to land ever so gently on her cooch.
Yeah, I mean, Aja's an interesting case. I have responded to Aja less and less every iteration, and I'm not sure. I'll be very interested to watch her in this, because I've not been responding to her in interviews and stuff with the gusto that I used to. I'm in particular, that Maddie Morphos's interview was just weird. She sounded like Brian Fellows the entire time. It was the strangest thing I have ever witnessed, and now she sounds normal again on All Stars. So I'm just really, I'm curious to see where we go from here.
Well, if I may, I want to get excited about all these girls, and I realize that I have done a terrible job steering this conversation. So I want to ask, if guys, can we play a new game?
What's the game?
I would love to introduce a new game called Crit Love or Love Crit. Are you here to love these girls, or are you here to give a little bit of criticism about what the show's doing with like some of the thoughts here? I know I want to weigh in on all of these girls, and TK, I cannot wait to hear every single thing you have to say about all these girls. So that was definitely not meant to be like a cutoff. That was meant to be a megaphone. I want to make sure that, number one, this show is absolutely either full of love or illiterate. We do not read unless it is literally for love. But casting some of these girls does have me have some feels, and it has nothing to do with the girls. So I would love it if we could all kind of talk about these girls, round robin, round table. Kevo, you have that beautiful image of all of them going around like they're the Brady Bunch or the Muppets. One image go. Hey, I would love to open this up with Acid Betty. And TK, I would love for you to go first, because I certainly didn't mean to cut you off. I just realized how far it was getting into the episode.
Oh.
And I would love to just kind of get us going on this tournament of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars episode, reacting to all of the girls with starting with Acid Betty.
Yeah, I love Acid Betty. She's really cool, and I think I haven't, we haven't seen her in such a long time, and I'm super excited to see what she brings to the table.
So one of the things that happens when you are running a live show is that sometimes there is an order and you don't see it because you're doing your best when you've had a long work day. So TK, you get to go twice in a row, I guess. Kevo, would you bring back up that image? All good. TK, would you start off on Aja and keep going on there?
I mean, like I said, I haven't been super responding to Aja lately. I think she has a history of being just incredibly bombastic and funny and loud. I did love the Roserade. I'm not going to lie. The Roserade was an incredible choice. But yeah, I haven't really connected with Aja lately. I'll be interested to see if that changes seeing her on the show. Take it away, Jonah.
I adore Aja. I quote her all the time. You're perfect. You're beautiful. You look like Linda Evangelista. You're a model. My favorite Drag Race meme to ever come out of Drag Race. It is the most perfect rant in the entire world. I'm surprised that we don't do it more, even though we actually just do it as a pass on season 17. Aja's great. I'm excited to see her now that she is living her best life in terms of her presentation outside of drag, and I'm super excited to see what that means for her and her ability to, crush a competition, because I think she's a great performer.
Sorry, I think it's your turn.
It's my turn. While I never fully connected with Aja, Aja is one of those amazing, quick-witted, smart, deeply involved in ballroom culture. She represents a lot of drag that I feel very afraid to approach because it's so deeply important to so many communities that I don't reflect. And so I feel very like I would be pushing myself into an area that does not quite want to see me there. And so I think she's spectacular. I think she's a firecracker. I think she's going to be one of those people who comes in there and says what she's going to say, and we're all going to have to figure out how to handle it. But I'm really excited. I saw a post from her or her team today that was very much about how this is like the final Pokemon evolution of Aja. This is the Charizard that's been living inside of her this whole time, and she's finally getting to showcase it. And I think that is something that is really important to All Stars. So I'm excited.
And your hair matches, so that's nice.
Yes, we love a purple hair moment.
I think one of the big things about Aja is that she is a little bit more legend than she is even queen on the show at this point. Like the meme of Aja, the gif of Aja is so much more than anything she could do on air, and that has nothing to do with her, and it has everything to do with what everyone constructs for her. They see these gifs, they see these memes, and they're like, oh man, every moment of Aja is that funny. It is not, because no one is Lorelai Gilmore. So, like, at the end of the day, I'm excited that Aja is going to get a chance to show more of her best self. And that's like all any of us can hope when it comes to being on air. All right, we moving on to our next girl? Or KEVO, you got something? I missed a minute.
Just I'm excited to. No, you're good. Just, she's from one of my first seasons that I got to watch, so this is exciting for me.
Yeah.
Jonah, you have a unique relationship with Deja. As of all of us, you've seen her perform live.
I did. I actually did get to see Deja perform in the Vegas show. Deja is my mom's favorite queen. She was not talking about how much she adored Deja, how much she adored her performance. So Deja, if you happen to see this, my mother loves you just as much as I do. I think Deja's great. I think she's a queen that definitely deserves this opportunity to come back to show this kind of evolution. In her original season, I think she represents somebody who maybe didn't have the best looks, but I think she definitely has that kind of interesting uniqueness and charisma that makes for a fun drag queen. So I'm excited to see what she brings.
TK, how do you feel about Deja Sky?
No, you're in the frame with Jonah. You go next.
Sure. I don't have my opinion together yet, so
okay,
Deja Sky, you're fine.
Yeah, I figured he'll go at the end. Yeah.
Okay. I love Deja. I mean, she for me has one of the more recent, really iconic memes that keeps showing up on my timeline, and every time it tickles me, which is her rant about being born at a very young age, which is just one of the funniest things, and she commits to the bit so well. And sometimes that's my favorite thing about a drag queen, is, they can have incredible looks, they can have whatever talent, amazing fashion, they can kill, but in or out of drag, when a drag queen commits to a bit, the comedy is unique, has a unique energy, and I think it has something to do with committing to the bit of being in drag in the first place, and just knowing that sometimes you have to throw your whole ass into something for it to be really funny. And yeah, I mean, iconic Deja, the only person to not lose Snatch Game her season. What a queen! Can't wait to see more.
Yeah, for me, Deja is closer to a comedy queen, closer to kind of a campy queen that I like to live in. I think it's going to be really fun. I've enjoyed some of the things that I've seen her do after her season, so I'm amped to see what she brings and how much she's going to stand out amongst this group.
I don't have much of a memory of Deja, to be honest, whereas this reintroduction certainly immediately made an impression. So that was fun. And, based on how this season is going to go, everyone's going to get their opportunity to shine. So I am interested to see what she has to serve. Nico?
Yeah, I'm excited to see her. It should be a good time. And, I think if anything, I'm more excited about her teammate, Irene, if only because Irene got 2 seconds to shine. And she is here to get a little bit more screen time. I feel like it's one of those great what ifs. People love to think about the album, the book, the movie that never came out. And that's what Irene gets to serve here. She gets to serve the fantasy that you never got. Whatever she does, it cannot be as good as what you've imagined, which is going to make her life hard. Not because she's not amazing, but because people have unreasonable expectations of these incredible ladies. But I'm here to see Irene thrive. Jonah, what you got?
I have been waiting for this queen to come back. I have been banging pots and pans over here on this show. I have made it no mince of my words that I wanted this queen back, and I think she just deserved a second shot against any early out. This is my pick. I think she is somebody who represents someone going home early, whose package on their original season could have competed, but she made choices. We all do. So I'm excited to see her with the second opportunity. I'm just really excited to see her get to come back again.
Yeah, just like Jonah, I've talked so much about wanting her to come back. She uniquely seemed so great, and while I don't necessarily think that her elimination was how could this have happened? I just really wanted to see more from her. I was so excited about what she was going to bring to that season. we didn't get it, and now we get the chance to see it again. As she said, she has the opportunity to do the most hilarious thing possible, which would be to leave at the biggest cast the show's ever had again. But I really hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I think for me, this is one of those where I'm just like, I have no idea what's about to come. This was not a queen that crosses my algorithm very much. So I'm really very excited to see her, particularly after having Ariete in our last season, and what that kind of means, and what that might mean for Irene's package, what Irene can truly bring to the table. So I'm very excited.
Irene is from my first live season. She was my first surprise cut where I thought a girl would go further. So it's really cool and fun to see her back again so soon. I grabbed this screen cap in particular. I accidentally got it. She's got her tongue right between her teeth, like she's about to say something, and I was like, you know what? That's perfect. We're gonna see how that serves her this season. But yeah, that does make it pretty cool, and I am always excited to see girls who got cut early get a wider opportunity to shine.
And from a girl that got cut early to a girl who just was early, Phoenix, no matter what, that's like 145 gay years ago. That's like original Will and Grace, not like the revival. So, Phoenix just being here, I'm really glad that Ru reached out to the other people on AARP. I'm kidding. It's just really wild that season 3 is making a comeback. Phoenix, we're really glad you're here. Please bring some old school drag in a new way.
Yeah, Phoenix is someone who, everybody else competing on season 3, I feel bad for because it was Raja's to win from the start. So I don't really, similar to season 15, it was going to be Sasha Colby's to win from the start. But she's someone who I think almost in a way is defined not by what she did in the show, but what other people, she kind of talked about it with her and India Ferris somehow walking into with the exact same outfit. And then India Ferris saying, "Prison, honey." Still have no idea what that means, but
She say it all the time.
She is somebody who, from other queens talking about her, how much of a mainstay she is in Atlanta drag and like how big she is there. So I'm hoping that this is an opportunity for her, like her namesake, to revitalize how the fans and the show sees her and what that means it represents to be a fan of Phoenix's drag.
Again, Jonah took the words right out of my mouth. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not crazy excited that she's here, but I love seeing an older, like, seasoned queen get to come back and play around a little bit. I have really no expectations except just to, like, be open to what she brings. Yeah.
I think for me, I'm really excited to remember who this queen is and see what she has grown into in that time. I think I really like having our older seasons and older queens with us. I think it's fun to see them compete with the youngers and keep up and do better. I think that kind of rearranges the brain rot inside the youth about what it means to be an aging drag queen, and I think that's exciting to get to watch.
Yeah, same on all counts. Again, it's way back, but it's the great thing about seeing queens from way back and an opportunity to re-shine. We got to see Chanel on All Stars last year, and she made such an amazing impression that she's making an amazing impression on our Drag Race draft game. So stuff like that is great, and who knows how this is now going to skew Phoenix's numbers for the next season of Drag Race Draft.
Yeah. These next two girls are like the 1-2 punch of like Jonah's excellence. It's Olivia Lux and Bosco, and this is two girls that I feel like have made such a beautiful mark outside of Drag Race that I recognize them. I recognize their package. I recognize what they do. And I'm really excited to see them thrive. Olivia in particular, I feel like she's ready to be herself, and that's going to be really exciting. That could also just be what the TV box is telling me to think, but we'll see.
I love both these queens. Want me to talk about both at the same time, or just Olivia?
Just Olivia.
I adore Miss Olivia Lux. I have loved her as a performer and as a drag entertainer since season 13. She is someone who, I don't know, there's something about this queen that, like, that her and Bosco are my top two. She can be the runner-up for this season. That's how I feel. I adore her.
Yeah, weirdly, I am just on the opposite end of the spectrum from you on this one. I don't know. There's something about her that I don't respond to. I'm really excited to see her this season to see if that changes.
And I mean, she won a title. She won Glam Slam.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
Yes.
I mean, she's super talented. There's nothing about her where I'm like, how'd she get on there? I don't know. It's a me thing. It's a some people don't like mushrooms.
She's such a beautiful, sweet, charming young queen that I'm very interested to get to see her kind of showcase excellence as opposed to just being like a 7 across the board. I'm excited to see peaks higher and maybe like a dip that pushes her into something next. I'm excited to see something more than just, yeah, you are good. And just happens to be that this week we have to go down to 4 people. Like I'm very excited to see what's up with her and what she brings and how she stands out.
KEVO, what you got?
I had almost forgotten how well she did on Glam Slam, which if you have not caught on YouTube, go check it out. I believe I checked and the season is still available, or at the very least you can check out our coverage of What the Heck is Glam Slam. We had a lot of fun covering it. It was a very weird little fashion drag series, and it was really exciting, and so this is really cool to get to see her in this context, because now I have this extra kinship after we covered that series, and I hope that the skills that we got to see her exhibit in Glam Slam end up serving her while she is here. I mean, she sings, she sews things made out of garbage in civic centers. What can't she do?
And speaking of what can't she do, Bosco, we got to see Bosco in the Vegas show. She's so talented. She's so amazing. I did not like Bosco on her season. I famously ran afoul of JoJo on this. I felt like production gave her every free chance they could, and I felt like other girls did like quantifiably as well and were not given the same love, not better, as well. And everything about Bosco afterward made me realize that's a production job, and that Bosco is marvelously talented. The fact that Bosco is a chocolate and the person named Chocolate got the gold, I can't with this.
Wait, Bosco's a chocolate?
Bosco is the name of the most common non-Nestle Quick.
Do you know why I know that? Seinfeld reference. George Costanza's
Bosco.
Yeah.
Bosco.
Yeah, it's a little chocolate bear, and Bosco is, Google it, it is number 1, a chocolate.
Okay.
What can I
Marino.
say other than this is my actual just winner? Listen, you give me a sultry demon with a dry sense of humor and is shady and mean, but in the proper ways. I'm here for it. Everything I look at, yes, you. Bosco just kind of represents everything that I would ever want to be in a drag performer and like drag aesthetic. And I just adore her as a performer, and getting to see her live 3 times in a row is something that I get to hold special in my heart. So yes, Bosco, I love you, and you're my winner.
Yeah, I really love Bosco too. It's again, we're on that same spectrum, and this time I'm on the end with you, Jonah. I can't quite point to what is so great to me about Bosco or what I really just like what resonates, especially because I don't think Nico's 100% wrong in his assessment of like how things went on her season, and even despite that, I just like, there would be a challenge and she would do great, but other girls would also do great. And Bosco would be the one that my eyes and my instinct would gravitate towards. She's just got a great persona. I also loved how candid she was about where she was in her gender journey while on the show. That was so brave. And she's just really cool. I'm very excited to see what she brings to the table.
Yeah, I have to admit that I was distracted on season 14 by other queens. I found Bosco to be perfectly serviceable and a lovely queen to watch with a great point of view. So I'm very interested to see what she has been up to and how she has elevated. I feel like already what we saw in the promo was already so many steps above where I remember her being. So I'm very excited for what Miss Bosco is going to bring, especially to get to watch one of us have their favorite queen back on our screens again and get to talk about it each week. I'm very excited for Jonah for that.
Remind me, what's Bosco's Vegas number?
She did Fever with the fans.
Mm-hmm. You gave
and we said that's like the only Vegas number that we think we would like to see Susie try and do. That would be really
if they provided her the step stool. Yes,
it would be. She stands on the men's. It's fine. Yeah, no. If she really that's a little her style still, and she was great. She was great in that, and that is something that is very exciting for me now. That we have become such avid fans of Drag Race Live. That we love to go every time we happen to be in Vegas. And so seeing queens that we've gotten to see perform, getting to see them in a season now, that's going to be pretty cool. This is very Max Headroom. Also, are you allowed to do this on TV?
Body.
She paid good money for it, and she should show it.
Yeah.
Part, but yeah.
Oh, the fake smoking. Oh, yeah. The kids
also
now.
Like all of our art teachers in high school in the 90s. Anyway.
Also, like a metal detector would be her nemesis, but
or an MRI machine.
Yeah, truly. That's a Grey's Anatomy episode waiting to happen. But speaking of people who look very different in their second appearance, I don't want to be super problematic, but Tina Burner went from looking kind of like a foot to a daddy, and I'm super into that. Call me Tina, you look so good. I'm so here for it. You're so hot. What's up? If you guys knew Hot Older Boyfriend, you'd get it. I don't know that I get Tina Burner's drag. I think she's very funny. I think she's very New York girly, but I feel like Tina would also not get my need to be on this show. So I feel like we're at like a place where we recognize each other's excellence from across the room, and we are not trying to bring each other home because we're the wrong kind of New York girly for each other. But we would both have a great time sitting in the front row of Assassins. So
Fräulein Sally Bowles.
Mm-hmm.
And I will maintain she should not have been in the bottom that week because she did an absolutely fabulous job and they just needed somebody else there. But I don't agree with any of those critiques that she got that week. That being said, that'll probably be as emphatic as I will be. Tina isn't always my queen, but she is somebody who I would love to see maybe with just after seeing their original run in the season, seeing how the show works, what they can do to harness their own skills to apply to the challenges to be even better. I don't even think she had a terrible run on season 13, but I do know that maybe the judges didn't always vibe with her, and so it would be cool to see after some time away how they respond to her again.
Yeah, she's at this point a really seasoned queen. I'm just interested to see where she's coming from now, what kind of new tricks she has up her sleeve. She was so like professional and ready to go her season, even when she didn't do great. That I'm just interested to see, like, with more experience, kind of knowledge of how Drag Race works and everything, what her new vibe is going to be coming into the show.
And no red and yellow.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, they didn't put her on the orange team, so
Yeah.
we're already a step in the right direction.
Yep.
Tina Burner is probably the one that's closest to my personal aesthetic, a comedy queen, New Yorker, kind of theatery. Which I'm very excited for. I was very sad in her season that she got kind of side shelved so much. I wanted more spotlight on her. I wanted her to be able to succeed in more things. So I'm hoping that she gets that opportunity a little bit more to showcase that personality and the fun and the energy. I am super excited to watch the queens figure out that somehow Phoenix and Tina Burner are the exact same age, only a month apart, and that they did the show a decade apart. But it's, I don't know, Tina's in my like top 10. I hope she makes it all the way to the point where like we start to really narrow down and can concentrate on a few queens. I'm excited to see what she's got.
Kristen Davis on her podcast recently was scandalized to learn how old the Golden Girls are. She was like, I thought they were like 80. And you know what, Kristen Davis? That is what I thought when I was a child too. And she pointed to aging has changed so much over the last 50 years. It's had its ups and downs, and one age at one point meant a different thing at a different point. And so that is, you know, and people also just have different life journeys. It's fascinating. So that is something that is a very interesting point. Along the same lines of the point of seeing girls from season 2, seeing girls from so way back when, coming back now, it's what makes something like this, the fact that it reaches across time like that, that is so cool and so significant.
And you know, that transformation, I actually want to say that I had not seen a transformation quite so dramatic. I thought like Tina Burner's from like average Joe to hot daddy, until I saw Carrie Colby, who, by the way, looks more like Ariana Grande now than Ariana Grande did or Jules Sparkle did. She has the mannerisms down, the movement down. This is channeling full glorious Galinda in every way.
You know who is? Jessie Spano.
I see it.
And I was going to say J-Lo.
I see it. One of the things that I think maybe even is Carrie Colby is she is a reflection of glamour in all of these ways. I am concerned that I'm not going to see Carrie Colby come through, having nothing to do with Carrie, but the edit. Because at the moment, I'm getting a lot of magazine covers, but I got more from people talking about other girls than I got from everything about Carrie from this. So I hope production is not about to do her dirty.
Carrie is great. I love that she's leaning into her namesake that the fandom gave her. Her referencing herself as the trans Thanos is correct and accurate, and she should keep doing it. That should be her brand. So I'm excited to see her back. You know, we just saw her mother way back, you know, a few seasons ago. So getting to see that evolution of Carrie, I'm excited. I truly am, and I hope that this will be a really good run for her.
Yeah, I think in some ways having Sasha on ended up eclipsing Carrie a little bit. You know, it's not surprising, it's to be expected, but it's really cool that she gets to come back with more experience under her belt, looking just insanely gorgeous, and play a little bit more. She's a great example of one that really makes me hope that this is more about fun than it is about like competition and who's like, you know, doing that whole aspect of things.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what she brings. I remember her being primarily a fashion queen. I'm interested to see what else we get. I think she's beautiful. She's got great looks. It's just I look for more. I like a personality gal. And so I'm interested to see what we're gonna get from her.
You know, Sasha Colby's season was my season, so that is a thing. And we did just have a huge family season. That is a thing. I feel like I'm sounding like Jeff Goldblum right now. It's just been such a long day, and I'm so overwhelmed. I didn't know the Thanos thing.
Nor did I.
Part of it is because season 15 has the most trans girls across any season of US.
14.
14, sorry, you're correct. 14, not 15. And part of that reason is just because, funny enough, because of Bosco saying you hang out with Kerry enough, you just want to start injecting estrogen.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
Fine. So if the word is egg, I guess that makes her a hen.
Yeah. Mother hen.
Mother hen. Nice.
well, and speaking of mothers,
Because they speak mothers.
we got double mother. We got Mistress and Nicole Paige Brooks. Brooks. Back to I guess it's Brooks brothers.
Brooks' sister.
But this is fascinating because Mistress is somebody who is barely defined by her season run at this point. Like her existence in the Dragosphere is so much bigger than she was on the show. And Nicole is the opposite. Like, who remembers season 2? People think of season 2 as the season that doesn't have the season 1 filter. That's it. And so, like, I think both of these girls have an amazing shot of being unrecognizable to their seasons, but for totally different reasons.
I'm so excited that we got Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia back. Anytime there's an acronym, we will find a way to put Nicole's entire name into it. She is also the person the only person to ever be in the bottom for a challenge that was strictly based off of how much money you made stripping. That was the actual reason why she was in the bottom, not for anything else that episode. I don't know too much more about Nicole outside of, what she did on the show, but I do know her legacy and for her, the Brooks legacy, as you were talking about. So I'm very excited to see somebody old school back. I really hope that she stays around for a while because I want the kids to know about Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, how do you feel about Mistress?
The MIB, I adore Mistress. She makes me tee-hee-hee. She makes me cackle. I think she looks incredible. I'm so excited to see her back. She is somebody who makes some of the best TV we've had in recent seasons. And I love that she is younger than me, but she paints like she is 30 years older than me. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that she goes for makeup.
Like she paints like Bob Ross.
Like that bitch wears a lot of makeup. I love that.
Try again for me, TK.
You're on mute.
I'm excited for the Brooks family. Nicole Paige Brooks, she invented malicious gay faggotry. So
yeah, she did.
How great to have her back. What a piece of history. And Mistress, what can you say about Mistress that hasn't already been said really poorly at a roast? No, she's fantastic. She's going to bring a lot of attitude, a lot of drama. She's very talented. Both of these queens are, an excellent get and are exactly what makes All Stars exciting.
Yeah, a lot of my feelings for Nicole Paige Brooks are similar to Phoenix. I can't wait to remember who she is again, and yeah, I think it's great to have her on. I'm excited to have these older queens back and get them back. Mistress is, of course, going to be good TV, going to be a fun time. Excited to see how more established queens handle her. antics in this.
Yes, I get
So.
that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
You know, I think it is really interesting to me, you know, looking at the screen caps that I took and looking at Nicole Paige Brooks, she is a very specific type of woman from this period of time who absolutely grew up into this type of woman at this period of time. And so I find that a very interesting and consistent level of drag. So that's fun. And speaking of fun, yeah, Mistress, bitch, I'm the cure for making this season not boring. That's for sure. Again, the connections, the family, the fact that she's like the only. I really hope the fact that she's the only person who knows Lydia, especially if they're on the same team, comes up, because that's what we want a season like this for, is the connections. And then speaking of Amber Alerts.
Yeah, totally.
From
Lydia,
the oldest to the youngest, literally, there is a 28-year gap between these two.
Wow, that is a whole queen.
Yeah.
And then some. You know, one of the things that I think Lydia has going for her is she did season to season, no fan reaction in between. She is part of the show's most significant power couple. She is a unique queen in this sphere. She doesn't do what a lot of the other queens do. She doesn't get girly. She gets buggy. And I think she stands a chance of doing really well this season, if not at least hanging in memorably.
It is so fascinating that she did this before she did the Lollapalooza.
Mm-hmm.
So she knew she was going to be competing again. None of the girls know who she is, literally, because her season had not aired at the time of them filming this. The other person being, as you alluded to, Mistress Isabel Brooks, who had just met her on the roast. So doesn't even know her, but knows that she's part of the family. Could you imagine I've been on the show, and you see somebody you've never seen before, and you're like, wait, I'm caught up on the show. I've never seen this person, to find out that, no, this person, you know, someone who's not going to win season 17. As I've said before, I am smitten with this queen. I adore her. I
imagine your first impression on somebody is you're a loser.
I mean, well,
that's all of their impressions of everyone here.
Everybody else's first impression was they walked into the workroom.
Yeah,
this is the only person that they met where they knew before they ever saw her enter the workroom she was a loser.
That's fair.
And so I adore her. I'm so excited to see her. And the only thing I want to quickly talk about, actually no, I could save it for when we talk about somebody else who comes up. But it's going to involve couples on this show. Let's just say I'm a bad, dirty fan shipper.
Oh,
not again.
I wish her all the best.
Succinct. I'm excited for her. I'm excited for the brand of drag she's bringing into this group. I'll be interested to see how people react to it. I'll be interested to see, you know, what they take from the fact that she was born after the millennium. Like, literally, just it's a whole new world out there.
Oof.
I liked her a lot. And she certainly is young, but there were a lot of queens in season 17 that I wanted to see more from in the immediate. And I maybe would have wanted to see Lydia get more time to cook instead of immediately being the first one drafted to something like this. But she grew up fast. She had like a arc on Queer as Folk level of growing up fast. So maybe that'll do a lot. And I'm excited to see what she does with a team of experienced queens now that she has experience herself.
You know, and it's so crazy that it's Lydia and Jorgeous back to back, because beyond the fact that this is like a LeGrand Wolf dating pool, these are two of the youngest looking queens in this season. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I really want to say to Jorgeous is go home, honey. I love you.
Did you not leave? Did you stay?
Can she eat? Can she do anything? It's seriously like an episode of Buffy, and she is the ventriloquist dummy that Rue won't let leave. She's beautiful, she's talented, but I swear to God, she needs to eat. She needs to get out. Look how white she's gotten. She hasn't seen the sun in so long. Will someone, for the love of God,
we just won't let her go.
Yes, this poor beautiful albino creature that has lost all of her beautiful melanin. Someone save this puppet from RuPaul's fist up her out. No,
did she help build the new stage? Like, what's going on? She has an apartment underneath the new stage.
Last Horcrux that she has to keep closed, because if Jorgeous dies, RuPaul dies. No, Jorgeous has been on Drag Race every single year since her Drag Race inception. She appeared on season 14. She was
new record.
She was a lip sync assassin on All Stars 8. She was
You son of a bitch. That's amazing.
She was a contestant on season for Charity All Stars 9. And actually contested on All Stars 10. She's someone that I was talking to when we were kind of talking about Ginger earlier. RuPaul loves her, and I imagine production loves her. She makes great TV. She's fun to be around. She looks incredible. She knows how to perform. I just say she is somebody she started the show when she was 21, 22, and in 3 years she's been on the show 4 times. Like she is making her mainstay stake in the full Drag Race legacy. Let her come back. Let her have fun. RuPaul loves her. We love her. Let her have fun.
Man.
I mean, she's so talented. She's really funny. I don't always vibe with Jorgeous, but she is. I don't know. I feel weird about it on the one hand because I am like, let her go home. Yeah, like, just it's not that she's not amazing, but like maybe just somebody else gets a spot. But I also don't know what the negotiation is like. If she was like, if you guys are doing another one, I really want to be on it. I don't know what that is like. If this is her happy place, if this is what she wants to do, sure. I love that for her. Yeah, I love that for her. I want her to do her thing. I think she's fun and funny. I loved her Megan Rusical number. She's great. I wish her all the best. Go get it, girl.
Yeah, I'm excited for Jorgeous. Jorgeous is the point where I start to say things to myself like, why did we bring back these girls? Why did we bring back for the people who have been on All Stars before? Why is it these 3? Why is it Jorgeous, Aja, and Ginger? What is about them? Is it just that they're Rue's favorites? Is it that there's production involved? Like, why are they here because we decided we wanted to fill out to 18 girls and this is where we gotten? Like, once we get to the conversation about Jorgeous, the rest of my arguments as to why it's totally fine that Aja and Ginger are here starts to fall apart a little bit. But again, at the end of the day, it's RuPaul's show. The show itself, like certain queens, and Jorgeous is one of them. I think a lot of people felt that there should have been different people in the finale of All Stars 9. And I think that Jorgeous was so impressive in her talent show number that a lot of people are, even though they're a little like, girl, why didn't you leave? They are still excited about her. And I think that is just a testament to how amazing she is.
It's the same way I say I get having a girl from season 17, even though it literally just ended not even a goddamn week ago. I get having a girl from the last season of All Stars as well. I think that is cute. We are doing such a different girls from different eras, from different significant seasons, and it is the latest of the 80s, 90s, and today, and that includes the and today. And very frequently in these, there isn't enough of a balance. So I like that we are seeing, girls from more recent seasons, including the recent All-Star seasons.
It's really tough because I loved the point made earlier that too many girls came from the same season. I've been really excited when they were rumoring that there were going to be 18 girls, and I realized that we were on 17 seasons, and we could have said an 18th girl was Jimbo, who appeared in an American All Stars, and obviously the Vivienne just would not have been able to. They would not have been able to hide that her appearance was filmed if there had been an appearance. So I knew it couldn't be Vivienne. But one of the things that really struck me was how many girls might have been from even the same range of seasons, that 13-14 hot spot, that 13-14 sweet zone. And how many of these girls were so talented, so beloved, so excellent. And I felt like really never got to shine on stage the way they deserved. Denali is one of those girls where she never got the respect I thought she deserved from production. It's like her, Jackie, Jan. And I feel like they never really got the production respect that they deserved. And whereas Jan turned being mad about it into a brand, and Jackie turned being underrated into a brand because then every time she comes through, it's so incredible. And the way she hosted for Paramount, for Star Trek, Denali has made "No, you fucked up, I'm the winner" her brand. And I'm really excited to see how that works for her, because I got to be honest, I'm not here for the truth. I am fully in Denali.
This is the top 3 to my fantasy of who's going to win. I adore this queen. You better know every time she uploads an ice skating video, whether it's to a song or whether it's teaching another queen how to ice skate.
Did we watch the Abracadabra video within 40 minutes?
Or 40 seconds.
Yeah, seriously.
She posted it and I asked, "Can we watch this, please? Please." She is someone who ever since her season, I have wanted to get, like you said, the respect from the show, to kind of give this queen her flowers. She deserves so much more. I think she's so talented. So, and she's one of the best lip syncers and performers we have seen on the show. So I am so excited to get to see her perform again.
Nico, you said something when you were talking about queens like Denali, queens who don't necessarily get to show everything that they have, and queens who don't necessarily get the respect they deserve. What's really crazy about Denali is I felt like she got to show everything that she had, and it was all incredible, and she wasn't getting acknowledged for it. It was a very weird thing. She was such a strong competitor, and she's one of those queens who when she was in the bottom, had one of the greatest lip syncs of all time to Pure Love. And it's one of those moments where you're like, I'm glad she was in the bottom because I wouldn't have gotten to see that otherwise. But I also am not really clear what the judges aren't getting about this incredibly talented queen. That one is debatable. She was maybe in the bottom for that one. But overall, it just felt like something wasn't resonating with her and the judges, and yet the audience response to her was just absolutely undeniable. And so she's a great example of what I think of as the kind of traditional all-stars candidate. Somebody who I really thought could have won, should have won, wasn't getting what she needed to when she was on the show, and hopefully can on the way back. This top is absolutely insane, by the way. Good for her.
Yeah, that smacks of Jeffrey Mack. I don't even know what else to say.
I want it.
The construction is stunning.
None of it.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, you can see it just a little bit.
But it's a fishing wire instead of a full plastic. I'm very impressed.
Yeah,
I'm very impressed. And
for a while, I thought she might have spirit gummed it to her titty and her shoulder.
Yeah,
but
maybe
in the we don't know.
That is ready to garrote some nips.
Yeah. This is also, I think Denali might be what is definitely also part of my top 3. This is one of the girls that I am just so ready for, so excited for. I love everything that she brings in. I love the amount of preparation that you can tell she puts into stuff. I can see how smart she is, how seriously she takes her craft, I just think she's a superstar, and I'm so excited to get those incredible, outrageous legs back into my life.
You know, speaking of superstars and incredible, outrageous legs, KEVO, your legs are basically gem. No one else is the same. Truly outrageous. And I would love to know, would you go ice skating with Denali if you knew how?
Yes, I'm also very invested in Denali's legs. Yes. No, I am very excited to see what she has to bring. Gosh, it's so many girls. And it's that thing where it is the record number of girls. And I'm so exhausted as we're going through this list. But because they're broken up into the teams, which now we are on team 3, it's going to make viewing that many girls very different, even from the very start. God, yeah, look at that. That is nuts. So yeah, I think that's very exciting, and I'm very excited for her and for this next team.
Okay. I love orange juice, right? And
it was the word, and KEVO really nailed the timing on popping that up.
And
It's how you're the title commander.
I love screwdrivers, and I love grapefruit juice, but I don't think I would love a grapefruit screwdriver.
Ooh, I do.
Oh, motherfucker, ma'am, I'm gonna go to brunch with you. But when I think about Acid Betty, I feel like I should like her. I feel like I should like her. Me.
Only
Like-
maybe.
You like mean people and you like high art. So if you were to combine the two,
Yeah.
okay.
No, but you know what hit me? And I don't want to make it just be shallow comparisons, but she's kind of like a Santino Rice. And you don't like Santino Rice. There's mean, but there is a line of mean that you don't like being crossed. So I don't know. Maybe it's that. Maybe there's something in that.
Can I tell you what it is? Like I think I can say that for me, I am a Rocco's Modern Life kind of faggot. I'm not a cat dog kind of faggot.
Right.
And Acid Betty is sort of like the back half of Cat Dog that we never got, but on both. I'm kidding. No, that's
She's what happened to the anus.
Yeah, no, Diabetes is both anuses. I'm kidding. She would love that. Both Bettys are not for me. I don't get them. I would have rathered the Veronicas because I would like to leave these two untouched.
That's
like,
your only one.
It's like 4 great references all stacked very neatly. Way to Jenga that. Yeah, I like Acid Betty fine. I get that she was like a little bit horrible in her season. You know, I will always flash back to that moment where during Untucked where Trixie sends a heartfelt message to Kimchi and all Acid Betty can do is talk shit about her makeup as Kimchi is like quietly crying to herself. So like I get it. There's always a level of like there's a level of mean where it's like even if you're not super worried about it in terms of like thinking that people are going to be upset or anything, there's a level of mean where you're like, oh, this isn't even working for your brand. Like you're just going to be miserable. Keep it going, KEVO. Just dial right into the people. You know, and that's for Betty, who's so talented at like body sculpture and all of these amazing looks. You would think that she would just be a little bit aware of like, oh, I shouldn't be this horrible because it will be bad for my brand. So I'll be
on that note, genuinely, I saw this skin, like being serious, like this made me think of Trill from
100%.
Star Trek. Like it's such fine attention to detail, even for something that's meant to be viewed from stage.
Exactly. And so you would think like attention to life details too, but people aren't always great multitaskers.
Yeah.
I like Acid Betty. She's great. She looks like Pepper from American Horror Story, out of drag. She makes good TV. I kind of like that she's a bitch and just like everyone's gonna get me.
She looks like a pirate extra in a Disruptive Films video.
Okay.
Yeah.
She looks like, what's the villain from Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
The Judge.
I gotta watch that.
Judge Reinhold. That can't be.
No. It's Judge something else. Judge.
Oh
Judge
no,
Turpin.
Judge Reinhold is definitely. I see
It's
that.
Judge Turpin because he's turpentine. No, Judge Turpin is Sweeney Todd. Someone stop me.
I'm trying. So I remember. I remember Acid Betty's art. I don't actively remember Acid Betty as a competitor. So my brain sort of like just kind of. I feel like I watched season 8. Like that was when it started to like the show itself started to convalesce to me as a character in and of itself and how it worked. And I spent a lot of season 8 very focused on Bob and then Thorgy and then Acid Betty was kind of in the mix, but then Acid Betty went away really early, which felt really strange. I feel like she was one of my first like super shock outs that weren't like a 4th or a 5th place, where I was like, this person got very close, but I thought would go all the way.
Like
this is one of those.
Like Gus Kentworthy.
Yeah.
She is part of the reason why they changed how they put people in the bottom. Because she was one of the front runners for season 8, and they were not expecting Naomi to demolish her in a Madonna lip sync.
Well, they changed a lot of things from that Madonna episode.
Yes, and we have Naomi to thank for that. So the trailblazer that she is, we love you, Naomi.
Queen.
You're not in this season, but I would have loved to see her back.
Queen. So I'm super amped for Acid Betty because I love this high art vibe. The neon and the crazy. I had just watched UK4, so I'm like living in that cheddar gorgeous lifestyle. Like, wow, I almost said cheddar Jorgeous. I need to go home.
Lotus.
We're all so excited.
Yeah, so I'm very amped, and I think that it's a weird and an ooky spooky that is different from Irene's weird and Lydia's ooky spooky, and I'll be interested to see how the three either interact or get to represent on each group, because I can't remember where they all are now.
Hey, could you go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We went a little out of order on this one.
No, we're just excited. We did it on a few of them. Any girl that does this, that chooses to come to the promo photo shoot in some kind of full face makeup like this, looking like one of the Sea Monkeys from the Sea Monkey TV show from the 90s, you really have to respect that.
Those
So, yeah,
airbrushed like skulls right here. Oh,
yeah. So excited for that, and from the girls who are willing to make themselves ugly to, this one's mine. This is mine, everyone. This is my husband.
I want to just say that Alyssa Hunter is one of those rare cases of where the man is so fucking gorgeous that his drag self can only hope to look like Sophia Loren and does fine. But like, Alyssa Hunter is like, really, inside you there are two wolves, and both of my wolves are eating his ass. Like, I can't stop.
I just want to be one of them. I don't even need to be both.
He is like one of as like a Cuban dude. Like I think he should be home making me plantains. Like, I don't know what else to say. He's so beautiful. That said, I actually feel bad because I don't think his drag is as beautiful as he is historically speaking. And Alyssa, please correct me if I'm wrong, but Alyssa doesn't do a lot of the what I would call race circuit. Does a lot of drag, is evidently like I Googled around for everybody, does still perform, but like she's not one of those girls that's constantly at Roscoe's. And
no, partially for two things. One, she's from Puerto Rico.
The language barrier definitely is a huge problem in this fandom because there's very few things as weird as how many Drag Race fans use AAVE and then are hideously racist.
Correct. And on top of that, the show I don't think has the best treatment of specifically queens from Puerto Rico. And I don't think the fandom latched onto her. I think at the time of her elimination, there was a little bit of rallying around because nobody really thought that she lost that lip sync against Carrie, which is unfortunate because I didn't want either of them to really go home at that point. But it's so funny because in my memory, Cornbread the Snack Jeté was also in the bottom of that episode, but she wasn't lip syncing. And she had this great moment with RuPaul, and RuPaul was like, "You're here now, heal, let the healing begin." And then Alyssa was like, "It's so hard." And RuPaul was like, "Yeah, well, this is tough, baby, get used to it." RuPaul did not care for this queen, and after her prop mishap, it was the excuse to send her home. So I'm excited for her. I hope she gets a better shake. I hope she gets a better shot. Rooting for you, girl.
I also just want to say that I would love that same jacket, and I would like it to say trade on the back. I would like it to say rough, but if I can't get that exact jacket, I would really like it to say crave, and on the back say cereal. So
okay, you're joking about that, but your what was your back of the trade one again? Because I like that rough trade, but then crave, and then on the back action.
All right, I also love that, but no, really, this jacket is that jacket really is a stunning achievement in cinematic design.
I also forgot, I love that for her talent show number, she was like, "I want to play guitar. I love rocking out on stage," and then she didn't play guitar. She air guitar slash fake guitar played. Honestly, it's very funny.
Yeah,
that was my only bit for Alyssa. As I was going to say, I hope between now and then she learned to play guitar.
Oh, you don't have anything for the fact that she looks like two of the three Jokers with that one of her mouths goes all the way to the sides and one of her mouths stays in the middle? I just wasn't sure.
I did notice, but I was attempting to be charitable.
Some of us learned to smirk from reading about it, not seeing it. So
TK, no one has ever questioned your charitability or kindness. What I am going to question is that you reserved your read. Because you're reading, sir, you are voracious. You are basically a library connoisseur.
I've been nice to basically everybody. I wish her all the best.
Yeah, she's one of the ones that I don't remember so much from her early season. From her first season, there were a lot of big personalities, and she was an earlier out. But I do remember a lot of people talking about how very, very handsome she is out of drag. So I'm very excited to see what she has to bring. I found her promo look to be gorgeous. The hat, the look, it was just great. And so I'm super amped to see what she brings to the party.
Kevo, I really love that you started us off with how gorgeous Alyssa Hunter is, because I do agree. And one of the things that I think is really beautiful is that there are actually different ways to be stunning. Alyssa and this next queen both have in common that it's actually scary to have a linguistic challenge. I'm a type of Broadway boy who feels like my vocal stylings don't fit in. So when other vocalists are like, "No, sing with me," I feel beautiful. And I feel like the strongest man in the world. And I feel like I get to express myself in a way that people just don't understand, because you guys don't get that in lyrical tenor. I am funny. And I wish people understood that. It must be so hard for Cynthia, who is Texas born, but Puerto Rican. And, she has this inability to exist in a single world, because so many displaced Spanish forward Latinos are incapable of ever truly getting to exist in one world or another. There's got to be an ABC Family show about that, and it involves dark magic or something. But I feel like,
canceled, God damn it!
And my dad and your mom are devastated. But
I love that show. Which one am I? You can't tell.
I can't wait to see your mom. But I feel like maybe it's that everybody in my family / everyone I love has overcome some version of either cancer in their body or cancer in their life. But Cynthia represents something that people need to see, even if her drag doesn't elevate you, that she won't let foreign body ideas stop her from finding her beauty in a body that was never what she wanted. She gets to do drag. She gets to celebrate her femininity, Jesus, in a masculine forward body. I just think that Cynthia really is kind of the best example of blending those two stories. This wasn't a bus stop. This wasn't a sexual attack. This was elevating someone for something they were willing to share. And I just think she forever deserves a crown.
I love that. That's beautiful. I love this girl. I wasn't even going to pretend to be mean.
I was about to be like, please, boy, with
can't.
your cuckoo, you cannot even.
You can't. No, I don't know anybody who, as a entertainer from that perspective, not specifically talking about the drag aesthetic or anything other than that. Nobody should ever hate Cuckoo. Cuckoo is the person we should all strive to be. Cynthia Lee, as people like to call her, Santy Alley. That's how she says her name sometimes.
Santy Alley McBeal, my favorite Latina lawyer.
She makes me happy every time she's on screen. There's something about her. She's insane in the best way possible, non-derogatory. I adore her. Every time that Cynthia's on, I get to see Cynthia, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be happy. She just makes me happy.
Even with the weird hair after Angelica was done with her, she's still beautiful.
I'm sort of in that same zone. I think she's really funny. Nico, you also pointed to something really important that got talked about a little more early in Drag Race and never really comes up anymore, which is like the language barrier is such a thing. And sometimes fandom, the show, life can just be so cruel. And you can see somebody that because sometimes they get treated like, oh, you poor idiot, you don't get it like the rest of us. And it's like, no, I mean, go on Drag Race France and try and, anyway, she's so funny. She's so irreverent and silly and ridiculous. And apparently her body has been through it. And she brings a lot of joy and a lot of humor. And I'm excited for another round of that.
Tori, I kind of feel like Cynthia is someone that you would have taken care of in a theater troupe.
Oh yeah, I'm just remembering that when I first saw Cynthia Lee Fontaine, I was like, oh, if Yara Sofia and Tammy Brown had a baby, this is who it is. And I just think she has such infectious joy. I think she's going to be a great one of the mother figures on the season. I think she's just a whole lot of fun, and it seems like everyone says she is just such a blast. So I'm excited to get her energy in this room and see how everyone does.
Are you having trouble because she reminds you too much of Ann Esther?
No. I mean, yes, she does. Who she really reminds me of is on the short-lived Disney animated series Legend of the Three Caballeros. There is a handyman bird, a little androgynous, non-speaking, very energetic but helpful figure, Ari, the Arukian bird, who's actually, and I even just looked it up, an actual Three Caballeros character from the original movie that was transposed into this amazing animated series starring Wayne Knight and a whole bunch of other amazing actors. And that is who Cynthia has always reminded me of. The energy that she serves, the always ready to go, the always ready to not just serve, but serve 110,000%. She's so amazing, and she is also a testament to when I just don't know Queen's name sometimes, because as I was going through this and I see her name, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm sure I know who she is, and then I see her and I'm like, oh my god, yes, no, I know who she is. Cuckoo. Good for her. Good for us having her back. What an amazing addition to this season. I'm really excited to see her again.
And if tampons came with razor blades, they would be diabetes.
Again, can you do this on TV? Inappropriate.
I don't get it.
I hope we get to.
I don't get it. I I would never uncast anyone, but like there are plenty of people that I would never put in Anything Goes, which is like the all-stars of Broadway. There are plenty of people I wouldn't put in 1770. No, that's anybody can sing 1776. There are plenty of people I wouldn't put in Wicked. Sure, that's one that people have heard of. Diabetti is like the queen of Dragula.
No.
I feel like no. I feel like she would do great on Dragula.
No.
Having seen what I've seen, and I appreciate you saying no, I feel confident that a different show showcases you differently. And I appreciate disagreeing, but her personality really, really, really did not work on Drag Race. Her personality hit me all the wrong ways, and certainly you have seen a bit more Dragula than I have, having seen the same amount of Drag Race. Her personality never once worked for me. She always felt like she was a jagged puzzle piece in a round figure. Her archetype works better in situations where acridity would be welcomed. I even appreciate that you do not agree with my opinion. I just will not agree that her personality of being genuinely an unpleasant person and reveling in it would not do better on a show where unpleasantry is rewarded.
I hear you. I think Dragula is reserved for people who identify as drag monsters. I do not believe that's how Diabetti identifies. Even though she's much more punky and a little bit off the beaten glamour path, that is what is in my brain when it comes to this, you know, who applies for Dragula, who applies for Drag Race. I think there is some crossover, but it's not always the same. I think they're looking for drag monsters. I don't know if Diabetti fits that, but it doesn't mean you have to. I'm not even want to make sure I'm not disagreeing with how you feel, how Diabetti came across on season 14, because you're allowed to feel how you feel. You're allowed to dislike or like someone based off how they appear on a TV show, and all of that is valid. Part of that, though, is I adore her. I very much enjoy Diabetti, so I'm excited to get to see her back. What I was alluding to earlier, her and Bosco are very good friends, and a lot of times, a lot of fans like to ship the characters together and draw them making out. So that's what I was going to say. There's a power couple on this season. They're lesbians together. They're lesbians.
Sorry, you said Dia and who?
Bosco.
Oh.
The art is out there. You can find it.
How did they feel about the art is my
I
question.
love it. Bosco posts
well,
it.
that's good. No, that's cute then. Good for them.
I think I fall in between the two of you on this one. I personally responded to Dia well by the end of the series. And like I was even, during the reunion, they kind of get on her a little bit about how unpleasant she is. And she's like, yeah, I hear you. And then like tries to give an example of what she thought she was doing. And it all breaks down because she asked Jorgeous to pretend she was taking a science test. And Jorgeous just can't imagine ever having put that much effort into schoolwork. And so, Dia, by her own admission, is, kind of caustic. And for me, I felt like at a certain point, I saw what she was trying to do. And I personally responded to it where I was like, yeah, I see that she is giving reads and giving advice and giving critique and isn't super concerned with what other people think of how she's coming off. And to her credit, she has never complained about her brand suffering or why doesn't anybody like her or, why didn't she win? All of those things, she is who she is and she's happy with it. And like I said, I responded to the character well. But I do see how, Nico, your points are incredibly valid. I think that is a caustic way to behave. It doesn't make me think of her as a hero. And I imagine she is, as far as being a part of this community. And like, if I was ever with her and she was like, I just make like $1,000 less a month than I would like to, I would be like, I think that might be your own fault for the way you act. since I've never heard her say that, I'm not super worried about it. But like, I can absolutely see how her level of causticity might be leaving money on the table, and you know, she seems fine with it. So be interested to see where that takes us for the show. I could see it among 18 other queens and a lot of big personalities becoming very annoying and too much noise and chaos very quickly. But I'll leave it to the show to see if that ends up being the case.
I actually think being surrounded by those larger,
she
more
might
aggressive personalities, she's
Yeah.
going to get balanced, because
Yeah,
I think what she suffered from in season 14 was that the person who would bite back got injured. And I think the other girls were not as interested in getting down in the muck with her. And I think it's a little bit of the, you have to have someone to play with for it to go well, otherwise you're just man screaming at clouds. And I think that's where I sit, because I think I'm kind of with Nico. Diabetes never really resonated very well with me. As someone who does enjoy a weirder queen, she just wasn't for me. But I think watching Helena Poison in this most recent season of Canada really kind of turned me around on Diabetes' drag and what she's bringing. And I think I'm very interested to see how that goes. How that goes in the future, in this season, what she's done to grow and what she's done to strengthen what is already her strengths.
I think there's also something very parasocial in deciding for her in either direction she would or would not do something like Dragula. We don't know for a fact what she feels or what's in her head. Somebody yelled at me for saying that the character of Tommy should marry the character of Buck on 911, and they were like, how do you know he even wants that? I'm like, he's a fictional character. And these are, you know, we only know them as the characters they are and how they present. And they have a lot more autonomy than the character of Tommy on 911. So yeah, I don't know. I can see it. I see where you're coming from. And, you know, this is a very interesting energy to be giving all to one team for sure.
You know, and I do want to say that I wish there were a third drag show on TV to compare it to. A good portion of what Drag Race is asking you to serve is shiny, pretty. Like, you can't win Drag Race without ever serving shiny and pretty. My comparison to Dragula was that there's really no other thing to compare it to, and there is nothing else that offers a chance that, like, literally the hosts of Dragula say, be mean to each other, undercut each other, hurt each other. Like, they literally encourage fighting among the girls, where on Drag Race, Ru literally says, if you're not here to support your other girls, you're a problem. Daya's every other comment was, but you're ugly, but you're not doing it right. And so I felt specifically like Daya's energy reflected a sort of show that is not Drag Race, and certainly that does not make it Dragula, but that does not necessarily reflect the fact that Dragula isn't everything that Drag Race isn't, and maybe talks to the fact that we need another show. And then Ginger Minge can be on that one, because my God, she did not need another appearance here.
She's the Richard Belzer.
Yeah, this is just one too many shows for this incredible queen. She is so talented, but mama, take a nap.
And she came dressed as Roseanne's couch. Or the Connors' couch now, I guess it is. Or now nothing. Anyway.
Yeah, now it's nothing, and now it's just that show that John Goodman got skinny on. TK, Jonah, you guys have had the most experience with Ginger Minge from day one. How do you guys feel about her on this is her 4th season?
Yes. So season 7 was the first season I got to watch live. So Ginger as a performer holds a very specific place in my idea of fandom and what I love what comes from queens. So listen, I get this is a 4th shot. I understand it, but on the other foot, I enjoy her. I love her, and I'm happy to see her again.
I share that sentiment. Yeah, it's a little bit much that this is her fourth time. And were they to ask me, I would say, don't bring her on this time. But again, it's sort of like whoever else I was just talking about. I think it was Jorgeous. If she really wanted to do it, if they asked and she was like, "Yeah,
Yes,
I would be so
exactly.
psyched to do it again," sure, whatever. She is very talented. She's a lot of fun. I think she could bring a lot of great stuff to the show. And again, great bridge between the old and the new, because for a lot of these older queens, they will know Ginger and have a relationship with her, and she has done All Stars a bunch, so she can help out there.
Yeah, for me, I too am a Ginger fan. Like I enjoy her a lot. I'm excited to see what she brings. I kind of feel that it's difficult for someone who becomes a finalist on All Stars to return and not have everyone go, why? So it's a little tough for me, but Roxy just did it. I'm excited. I'm excited for what she brings. I'm excited for the style of drag that she is going to showcase amongst these girls, what they're going to learn from her, with her, about her. So I like Ginger, and I'm of the opinion that one of these girls that's returning for their second or third All Stars has to go quite far, or else it has to be revealed as like, well, we decided to kind of pad out the group kind of thing.
Oh, you all just knew that Ginger was here to make sure that we had enough episodes.
Yeah.
KEVO, round us out. How do you feel about Ginger Minge?
Again, this is bringing a specifically different energy and dynamic to the season that I think something that is called the Tournament of Champions, something that is the 10th season of All Stars, something that is really befitting of that. And that, I think, is the thing that I most would say about how I feel about this season. I'm seeing a lot of articles that are comparing the gameplay dynamic of this season, because we are going to have, hold on, I wrote it down for myself, so I want to make sure that I say it correctly. Phase 1, episodes 1 through 9, we're going to see teams, then we're going to see 2 episodes of semifinals, and then a final episode of the lip sync SmackDown. And the fact that we are going to see this dynamic style of gameplay and have it be so different, I think that's great. And I think that's what we need to start seeing. And we talked about that last year on our All Stars 9 coverage. We talked about that on our global coverage, where we said we loved global, but we'd really like to see something different and something more expansive if they come back for global too, maybe more incorporate the girls' cultures. This really did something like that, where it incorporates girls from across a plethora of seasons, age groups, demos, styles, and I think that's great.
Well, I cannot wait to come back and talk about all of that. Tori, until we come back to talk about your second live All-Stars, where can everybody find you?
You can find me online at smtori, that's Tori with an I.
You know, Jonah, this is your 8th live All-Stars?
9th.
Wow. Where can everybody find you online if they want to know more about your thoughts on All-Stars?
You can find me places at Peak Jonah.
KEVO, you produce the hell out of this show. Where can everybody find you if they want to know more about your amazing work?
You can mostly find my amazing work on this channel. Definitely check out the repacked versions of what we are calling our Drag Race Draft game, where we have selected the girls, and based on statistics that Tori and NICO designed, we sort of D&D them, and we have that at the end of every week of our Drag Race coverage. So check that out in our videos, check out our Drag Race coverage over in our live section, check out our playlists for all different styles of content that we have. We have it all, folks, so go check us out at X's for Show, and check me out at KEVO Really.
TK, if everybody wants to follow you and all of your amazing antics and being so cool, smart, and hot, where can they check you out?
You do that at TK Accidental. And last but not least, where are you at, Nico?
Nico Action, NICOACTION, Nico Action Music, NICOACTIONMUSIC. If you guys want to check out more about this amazing show, that's HTML, Husbands Talking More or Less, X is for podcast, or X is for show. We love you here, so please do us a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. We cannot wait to hear, see, and talk to you guys in the future. But 3 things you guys can do for yourselves. Number 1, please stay safe. Number 2, please be brave. And number 3, please evolve daily, because we cannot wait to see who you are. Yesterday, you were amazing. Today, you are incredible. But tomorrow is the dream, and we will see you then. And until then, have a great night.